Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Rain X, America's #1 wiper blade. A 20-year-old man and his mother helped subdue a 19-year-old man who stabbed the son outside of a Chick-fil-A in Oswego hours after the suspect killed a delivery driver inside the restaurant. Police say Darrell Lee Jr. broke into the restaurant early Wednesday, attacking delivery driver 52-year-old Tracy Land, who died at the scene. Later, Lee stabbed the maintenance worker outside, but the victim and his mother overpowered him. Lee now faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder, attempted murder, and armed robbery, and is in custody awaiting court. A Glen Ellen woman, Irina Bogoslavska, faces federal wire fraud charges for allegedly defrauding a retail company of over $900,000 through online return schemes between October 2023 and October 2024. Prosecutors say she used aliases, fake SKUs, multiple credit cards, and different addresses to return items, sometimes repeatedly or claiming.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blade. Tonight, clear with a low around 40, wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 55, temperatures falling to around 52 in the afternoon. Looking ahead to Tuesday, partly sunny with a slight chance of rain and a high near 57. Currently, it is 55 with clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-509-TERM. 866-509-TERM. 866-509-TERM.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Time Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome in to another edition of Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. It is a Monday Mayhem. Why is it a Monday Mayhem? Well, I haven't been on air since taking care of my show last week, Thursday. And there's a whole helping of games that went on over the weekend, which included, much to my chagrin, the 30-16 shellacking that the Baltimore Ravens put on the Bears. Yeah, but it wasn't as bad as that final score would indicate, though I will be getting into that most likely at the bottom of the hour, because what I like to do here on a Monday Mayhem sports-wise is go through all of basically a weekend roundup, if you will, with all of the events and everything that had transpired over the weekend. So, World Series is underway, and it is taking place in Los Angeles for Game 3. Series is tied 1-1. You got the Blue Jays that put on an offensive explosion, and they came away with 9 runs in that 6th inning to all but seal the deal against the Dodgers in Game 1, winning that 11-4. Then the Dodgers, they bounced back, splitting this series with a victory over the Blue Jays 5-1 on, Saturday? And they will be underway in less than an hour, taking place. Game 3, series tied 1-1, Dodgers and Blue Jays out there in LA. Now, let's see, what else do we have? Switching gears to the NFL. You have the Miami Dolphins winning on the road against the Atlanta Falcons, 34-10. Who in the hell saw that coming? Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Then you have the New York Jets that secured a narrowest of narrow victories in a high-scoring affair over the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, if I said who in the hell saw the Miami Dolphins winning on the road against the Atlanta Falcons, nobody saw the New York Jets coming in and beating the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday 39-38. So congratulations. The New York Jets finally get that win on their season. So no team in the NFL will be going 0-17 this year. The New England Patriots dominated the Cleveland Browns yesterday, winning 32-13. The Philadelphia Eagles defeated the New York Giants 38-20. And tonight on Monday Night Football, it is going to be the Washington Commanders and the Kansas City Chiefs. And I would imagine that Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce will be taking care of business against the Commanders tonight. Excuse me. And then let's see, going into NHL over the weekend, the Chicago Blackhawks lost yesterday 3-1 to the Los Angeles Kings. Let's see, we also have the New Jersey Devils extending their winning streak to 8 games with a 4-3 overtime victory over the Colorado Avalanche yesterday. Jack Hughes scored the winning goal for the Devils. In other weekend action, the Toronto Maple Leafs won in overtime against the Buffalo Sabres. The Panthers shut out the Golden Knights with a 3-0 victory. And the Tampa Bay Lightning and Boston Bruins secured wins over the weekend as well. And also, hey, don't look now, but the Chicago Bulls are undefeated at a market 2-0. So they're taking care of business in the early beginning of this season, but let's not get it twisted. They're still, at best, probably going to be a 9 seed. Well, we'll see. It's still early in the season. Let's see. And then we also have Friday, Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks is expected to rebound after a tough first game as the team played the Boston Celtics. Monday, player projections are being analyzed for Monday's game, including bets on players like Tyrese Maxey and Victor Wembanyama. On the injury front, we also have Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So he is going to be out for a little bit, and Julius Randle will most likely get the tap on that. I will be getting into a little bit of the high school playoffs. Not today. Most likely it'll either be Tuesday, Wednesday, around there, or actually probably Thursday of this week, because the regular season ended for high school football, but now we are going to be getting into playoff time, and it's going to be fun. I really do believe that it's going to be fun. And in other news, well, geez Louise, Brian Kelly of LSU got the axe over the weekend. Yep, Brian Kelly got fired, and it is just absolutely amazing. Let me click on that real quick. So Brian Kelly gets fired, dismissed on Sunday, and let me see about this article here on X. LSU Athletics has made the decision to separate with football head coach Brian Kelly effective immediately. Director of Athletics Scott Woodward announced Sunday. Terms of the separation is still being negotiated. When Coach Kelly arrived at LSU 4 years ago, we had high hopes that he would lead us to multiple SEC and national championships during his time in Baton Rouge, Woodward said. Ultimately, the success at the level that LSU demands simply did not materialize, and I made the decision to make a change after last night's game. I am grateful for ongoing consultations and support of the LSU Board of Supervisors and interim president Matt Lee in this decision. We wish Coach Kelly and his family the very best in future endeavors, and we will continue to negotiate his separation and will work toward a path that is better for both parties, end quote. I mean, it's kind of funny. On the season, the Tigers are 5-3 this season, but I get it. They are 2-3 in SEC play, which basically means they are not up to the standards that LSU and probably most likely Brian Kelly, would have. But with LSU was 34-14 in the 4 seasons with Kelly, and but he also had a record of 19-10 in the SEC competition. He won 3 straight bowl games. I guess it wasn't good enough to get him to a 4th. But the reason why I bring all of this up is because I've talked on Big Top Sports here maybe a month or so ago, because that's about the time when James Franklin of Penn State was fired. And before that, it was Billy Napier, Mike Grundy. And I had to find out. I had to get an understanding of how much money is currently owed to these coaches that have been fired this year. And you have 7 coaches that account for $169 million in buyouts so far this 2025 collegiate football season. I mean, and with the firing of Brian Kelly from LSU, he's going to be making or the buyout or payout, if you will, is going to be $53.2 million. James Franklin of Penn State, his approximate buyout is $49.7 million. And on. Billy Napier of Florida, $21 million. Mike Grundy, Oklahoma State, $15. Sam Pittman of Arkansas, about $9.8. Deshaun Foster of UCLA, $6.43. And then you've got Brent Pry of Virginia Tech at a paltry $6 million. I mean, it's just, I do not understand. I don't get it. I mean, I know that the culture is win now and just win. Get to the bowl game, all the money and everything. I talked on a previous episode of how the NCAA football tournament brings in, roughly $1 billion. So, yeah, there's a large amount of money that goes into being a coach. But right now, I wouldn't be surprised because, with the season being what it is, and there's about, 4 weeks left in the regular NCAA football season. And there are other coaches that are on the hot seat. So who's to say, like, the next coach or the next high-profile coach that gets let go, man, that's going to cross over $200 million in owed salaries over just for the 2025 season, which is mind-boggling to me. But then again, and then you want to, and then you also have the players, not the players, but the coaches bitching and moaning about players getting paid. Come on now. Are you kidding me? Are you smurfing me? Are you just that obtuse where you have absolutely no understanding of what is going on? Just for the NCAA tournament, close to $1 billion, the football tournament, close to $1 billion. These coaches getting paid a hefty 8 figures, some 7, but still, hell, I would take 6 figures. It doesn't, I mean, yeah. So get out of here with your, the NIL is ruining college football and everything. But anyway, on the other side of this, I will dive a little bit deeper into the World Series, and we'll get going with the Bears at the bottom of the hour. You're currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer.
Tune in to Big Top Sports
with Derrick Geyer every weeknight from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
He'll have sports thoughts from the center ring of Chicagoland and to the outer rings from across the nation.
Weather from Chicago Cubs,
White Sox,
Bulls,
Bears,
Blackhawks,
Stars,
Fire,
Boomers, whatever the national story is of the day.
Geyer and his sports czar takes will either have you nodding in agreement,
yelling at the radio,
or in all honesty,
a bit of both.
With the way the Chicagoland sports and sports are in general, there's bound to be
thrills,
chills, and
oh my God moments. So get your snacks and libations ready,
because this is going to be a wild ride.
Big Top Sports with Derrick Geyer's quirky and insightful Fanatics take
will make you feel a little
or a lot better about your Chicagoland sports viewing experiences.
Tune in to Big Top Sports with Derrick Geyer every weeknight from 6 p.m.
to 8 p.m.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-234-0316. 800-234-0316. That's 800-234-0316.
Theriault Booth, a leading local law firm, is located on the beautiful Fox River in downtown St. Charles. Here's Ryan Theriault.
For better or worse, there are just times people need a lawyer. Whether you are involved in a work injury, in an automobile crash, selling a home, or even planning for your estate after your passing, we're here. We're local. We're part of the community.
For more information, visit them on the web at tbfirm.com or give them a call at 630-526-4242.
Your car is making a strange noise. No matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And Game 3 is set to start in approximately 36 minutes, where the Blue Jays head out to Los Angeles. And you got a pair of aces on the mound. You got the two-tone, two-eyed, two-tone pitcher of Max Scherzer getting the ball for Toronto. The 41-year-old, man, he has been pretty awesome so far. The bulldog of the Toronto Blue Jays, if you will. And 41-year-old Scherzer called it awesome to get his first series start since 2019, since being with Washington and Houston. Scherzer has 8 career postseason wins and became the oldest pitcher to start a postseason game since Jamie Moyer did at the age of 45 years old for the Phillies in the 2008 World Series. And then on the other side, you've got right-hander Tyler Glasnow, who absolutely dealt the last time out and has been almost unhittable in this postseason. And he is on the mound for the Dodgers. Glasnow has made 2 starts and has also had 1 relief appearance for the Dodgers in October. He's got a 0-0 record with a .68 ERA, only allowing 1 run in 13 1/3 innings. So, yeah, I mean, pretty filthy, considering the fact that he missed a majority of the season and he has a very, very fresh arm. So the starting lineup for, I don't know why they did that. Usually it's the visiting team. I'm going to scroll down to the visiting team here. Oh, why is it doing this? Okay, George Springer is leading off. He's DHing. Nathan Lucas is batting second, playing left. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is in the 3-hole, playing first. Bo Bichette is back in the game and playing second base, cleaning up. Dalton Varsho is patrolling center field, batting fifth. Alejandro Kirk is behind the dish and batting sixth. Addison Barger is in right field, seventh. Ernie Clement, third base, batting eighth. And Andres Jimenez is playing shortstop and batting ninth. Now for the Los Angeles Dodgers, it is Shohei Ohtani leading off and DHing. Mookie Betts is playing short, batting second. Freddie Freeman is at first, batting third. Will Smith cleaning up behind the dish. Max Muncy is at third, batting fifth. Teoscar Hernandez is in right field, batting sixth. Tommy Edmonds is playing batting seventh. And Kike Hernandez is playing left field, batting eighth. And Andy Pajes is patrolling center field, batting ninth. So this is kind of the, hey, what's up, Brendan? I do appreciate you listening. And also the Soto family as well. And the reason why I'm reaching out is because they are tuned into the youtube.com/@WRMN radio. And as I said, at the bottom of the hour at approximately 6:34 or 5, depending on like how many commercials I got racked up here, I'm going to be diving into that not interesting Chicago Bears loss to the Baltimore Ravens. So if you want to get in your thoughts on that game or just let out some frustration, because I know when I was watching this game yesterday, I had to curtail myself a little bit. I mean, I still let quite a few expletives go and fly, and people were looking at me, but then it kind of like opened up the doorway for them as well. So I'll kind of take credit for that. But if you want to get your thoughts in about the Chicago Bears, please call in at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. Or, feel free to text the text line at 505-926-1410. That's 505-926-1410. And we'll get going on this on the other side. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports with Derrick Geyer on WRMN 1410 AM.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Rain X, America's #1 wiper blade. A 20-year-old man and his mother helped subdue a 19-year-old man who stabbed the son outside of a Chick-fil-A in Oswego hours after the suspect killed a delivery driver inside the restaurant. Police say Darrell Lee Jr. broke into the restaurant early Wednesday, attacking delivery driver 52-year-old Tracy Land, who died at the scene. Later, Lee stabbed the maintenance worker outside, but the victim and his mother overpowered him. Lee now faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder, attempted murder, and armed robbery, and is in custody awaiting court. A Glen Ellen woman, Irina Bogoslavska, faces federal wire fraud charges for allegedly defrauding a retail company of over $900,000 through online return schemes between October 2023 and October 2024. Prosecutors say she used aliases, fake SKUs, multiple credit cards, and different addresses to return items, sometimes repeatedly or claiming they were lost in the mail, to obtain refunds. Authorities also allege she exploited gift cards to purchase and return items for additional refunds. A search of her home uncovered hundreds of items, thousands in checks and cash, and more than 600 gift cards linked to the scheme. Target announced Thursday that it will cut about 1,800 corporate jobs to simplify operations and speed up decision-making as it works to regain customers. The incoming CEO told employees the move aims to reduce organizational complexity that has slowed progress. The Elgin City Council unanimously gave preliminary approval to allow DACA recipients to be hired as firefighters and paramedics, closing a gap that previously excluded them from these roles. The city already employs DACA recipients, including 3 police officers, and does not require U.S. citizenship for any city job, only legal work authorization. Council members and the fire department emphasized that the move would expand opportunities, boost diversity, and help address staffing shortages. Fire Chief Rob Kagan and the Firefighters Union expressed full support, noting the policy aligns with similar nationwide trends in public safety hiring. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
know that expression, put a little spring in your step? Well, whoever said it must have been talking about Glide Step hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Because with Glide Step, you get a pillow-like soft landing, then an explosive takeoff. It makes walking feel effortless. So springy, it's almost like you're floating. And speaking of effortless, have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins technology? Just step in and instantly your shoes are on. No bending down and no touching. Try Glide Step hands-free Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
This is Larry Jones, and I'd like to talk to you about my bank, American Eagle Bank in South Elgin. Has your bank changed names in the last 10 years? Is your bank another faceless branch with headquarters in another city? Are you tired of earning next to nothing on your savings account or certificates of deposit, or does your personal banker treat you like a stranger? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you're ready for a new banking experience, and American Eagle is the place for you. American Eagle is a locally owned independent bank that's rooted in the community, and American Eagle customers are greeted by name and treated with the respect that they deserve. American Eagle has an innovative program, Eagle Savings, that teaches your children to save while earning prizes and rewards. American Eagle offers great rates on certificates of deposit. My bank is located in South Elgin on Randall Road between the Target and Caputo's and is open Monday through Saturday. Give them a call at 847-742-7400, and a real person will answer the phone. American Eagle Bank, a place where you matter.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blade. Tonight, clear with a low around 40. Wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 55. Temperatures falling to around 52 in the afternoon. Looking ahead to Tuesday, partly sunny with a slight chance of rain and a high near 57. Currently, it is 52 with clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades. And then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland. Football frenzy and hoops so high. Baseball swinging as seasons fly. Hockey blades cutting swift and true. Sports carousel spinning just for you. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome into the bottom of the hour of Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, River Media Network. Sports. All right, so I said that I'd be talking about the Chicago Bears. The Bears. And their 30-16 loss to the Baltimore Ravens. You know what? I'm going to start with all of the penalties. And you might as well have just been shooting yourself in the foot with that, because the Chicago Bears were penalized 11 times for 79 yards, while the Baltimore Ravens had 6 penalties for 45 yards. You had false starts, illegal formation, pass interference. You had intentional groundings. I mean, yeah, it just, So let's get to the breakdown of this. You had 11 penalties on the Bears, 3 of which were on special teams, 1 of which was illegal procedure. Basically, you lined up in the wrong position or you left too soon. You had 4 on the offense, 2 of which were intentional groundings by Caleb Williams. And then you also had 4 penalties that were on the defense. Now, you're talking about drive killers. Absolute drive killers, and one of the intentional groundings led to that fiasco of fire drill where your welcome back Cairo Santos kicking a 58-yard field goal trying to kick a 58-yard field goal that landed well short. Well, you already used the timeout out. Then you get that play, and now all of a sudden, okay, well, you need to rush everyone on and off the field, and I don't think Cairo Santos has come anywhere near kicking a 58-yard field goal before. But with that being said, here's a breakdown of the penalties. Caleb Williams. He was called for 2 intentional groundings. Colston Loveland, the tight end, was flagged for a false start in the frickin' red zone. Understandable because, maybe understandable, maybe not understandable. Maybe it's the cadence of Caleb Williams. I don't know. Maybe it was crowd noise down there. I don't know. But, yeah. Then, let's see. Colston Loveland was also involved in the clock management issue at the end of the first half that resulted in a timeout being burned. Yeesh. Jonathan Ford committed an offsides penalty. Andrew Billings committed an offsides penalty. Nick McLeod was called for a defensive passing interference call. Nashawn Wright committed an illegal use of the hands penalty, which is kind of funny. And I will get back to that. And then, and then the special teams, the special teams also negated a hell of a punt that would have been downed on the 1-yard line of the Ravens. Obviously, awesome punt by Torrey Taylor there in the 1-yard line, and it would have, made things a hell of a lot different. Well, they get the penalty, they re-kick the ball, and, not so good field position because, kick the ball out of bounds, and yeah. So that is all of that fun stuff. And a couple of the penalties seemed very ticky-tack. I mean, the offsides that was called on, I believe it was the center, Tooney. And it didn't even, I suppose if you're doing an offsides penalty, any movement on the offensive line, that is dinged a penalty. But what didn't seem to happen, or what did happen as I was watching this game and had quite a few conversations regarding the penalties and everything, it was not the referees that were calling the penalty. It was the defensive linemen that were calling the penalties, getting up out of their stance and going, oh, he moved. And it wasn't but after like 4 or 5 seconds where all of a sudden the referee throws the penalty flag. I thought that was kind of horse smurf in it of itself. Because, hey, if you miss it, then you miss it. You don't rely on the defense, who is always going to say, oh, he moved or whatever. Or, it was just Like, what are we talking about here? That was one. Then there was that. I still would love to know what the hell they were looking at as far as the offensive passing interference call that wasn't called. He goes ahead and he hooks. So a missed face mask call on DeAndre Hopkins, which was in a very crucial point of the game that happened right in front of the referee to Nahshon Wright. So DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver for the Ravens, has his hand on Chicago Bears Nahshon Wright's face mask, yanks him, kind of gives him a jab to the chin, and no flag was thrown. But it happened right in front of the ref. What are we doing? What are we watching? There was that one. Then on, I will just go down the list here. There were, I don't know how many different no calls there were. Some of which, again, right in front of the ref. How is it you call 11 penalties on the Bears, and some of which were very ticky-tack, and then not call blatant, obvious penalties against the Ravens? Some might argue that it's because the Bears are a very undisciplined team and lead the league in penalties, which they are at the top of the league. So there's that. I mean, granted, not granite, the rock, but granted, it may have changed and swung the outcome of the game at that particular moment in time to the Bears. And then there was also the helmet-to-helmet hit, and I forgot what Bears player that it was that got absolutely mollywopped. Excuse me. Which in turn caused a fumble, which the Bears retained, that elicited a challenge from Harbaugh that was looked at, and you could see the blatant, the D-back, the safety coming up, lowering his head and targeting the head of the receiver. If that was in college, that would have been targeting, and you would have tossed him out of the game for it. My goodness. So then all of a sudden, the question becomes, the Bears retain the ball, but then the question begins like, well, can you review a penalty after a play was challenged? So here's what I come up with. Illegal forward pass, handoff, or punt. A review can correct the penalty if the pass, handoff, or punt was from beyond the line of scrimmage. Too many players on the field, both offense and defense, can have that foul, obviously. Illegal touching of a pass or kick. This can be reviewed to determine if it was a correct call. Roughing the passer or intentional grounding. And I could have sworn one of the receivers of the Bear, I think it was Odunze, was pretty damn close to getting the ball that Caleb Williams thrown that was called for an intentional grounding. I could be wrong. Kicking a ball out of bounds. Kickoff out of bounds can be reviewed to confirm the call. Now here is, the other side of things. Penalties that are not reviewable. Most judgment calls. Penalties like holding, offsides, and most face mask penalties are not reviewable because they are subject and require a judgment call by the officials, by the on-field officials. Missed penalties. A review cannot be used to add a penalty that was not called on the field only to correct or overturn a call that was made. What? So what it is you're telling me is that if a penalty is called on, let's say, roughing the passer, and I get it, you're trying to protect the quarterback, but yet at the same time, if you call a roughing the passer and you see that it is not actually roughing the passer, you could overturn it and no penalty or a penalty. But something as blatant as a helmet-to-helmet hit, you can't review it? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I thought we are trying to protect players here. I don't know. It doesn't matter anyway. I mean, it's not like you're trying to call an unfair or an unfair or unbalanced game. And I know I'm bitching and moaning because it went against the Chicago Bears. But as a Chicago Bears fan, there was a lot of complaining, if you will, about the call. Zzz. Because it just didn't make any GD sense. I'll get a little bit, I'll further this conversation on the other side. You're currently listening to Big Top Sports with Derrick Geyer on WRMN 1410 AM.
For nearly 50 years, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council and Kane Senior Council have been dedicated to serving seniors in DuPage and Kane counties. Established in 1975, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council is a volunteer-driven 501c3 non-for-profit organization committed to helping older adults live with dignity. From providing nutritious meals to offering support services, the Kane Senior Council is there every step of the way. With programs designed to enhance independence and quality of life, they're proud to make a difference in the lives of their senior neighbors. To learn more or to volunteer, visit them at 418B Airport Road in Elgin or head to their website at caneseniorcouncil.org. Give them a call at 630-338-0999. That's 630-338-0999. That's the Kane Senior Council, caring for seniors because they deserve to live with dignity and respect. Visit caneseniorcouncil.org or call 630-338-0999 today.
Did you get a call or message that mentioned Social Security that made you feel threatened or scared? That is not the Social Security Administration. Social Security will not threaten you, press you for personal information, or demand instant payment. Social Security does not accept payments by gift card, prepaid debit card, internet currency, or by mailing cash. Criminals use these forms of payment because they are hard to trace. Don't fall for it. Hang up, ignore them. Report this criminal activity to oig.ssa.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Before the weather gets too cold, it's time to finish up those outdoor jobs. That's why ComEd wants you to know that electricity can jump from a power line to you and to the tools you're using. So maintain a safe distance from any power lines. You can also call ComEd at 1-800-EDISON-1 to have those power lines de-energized the next time you do any work around them. Stay smart, stay safe, stay back. ComEd, powering lives.
Systems run everything. Government, economy, media, justice. They shape your choices, your opportunities, your future. But do they work for you or against you? On Apolitical Talk Show, we break them down. Not to destroy, but to understand. Because if you don't see how the system works, you won't see when it's being manipulated or who's benefiting from it. Power belongs to those who know the rules, challenge the loopholes, and demand accountability. That starts with knowledge. That starts here. Join us weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. as we uncover what's really happening behind the headlines so you can decide for yourself what's fair, what's broken, and what needs to change. Apolitical Talk Show, breaking down the systems to build them up together. Right here, weekdays 4 to 6 on WRMN, the talk of the town.
And welcome back to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with Derrick Geyer. And I understand. I understand that the Bears may not have actually won this game if those penalties were called. But at the same time, don't tell me that those penalties did not matter. Because as sure as you're listening to me talk right now, those penalties mattered, and those penalties could have changed the game. But not to mention, it's kind of hard to say that it would have changed the game when the Chicago Bears coming out looking like world beaters in that first quarter. And I don't know about y'all out there, if you were watching the Bears game, but it surely looked like they were going to be handling business in that first quarter. What transpired after that, I have absolutely no idea what the hell that Smurf was, because that was some Smurfy Smurf if I've ever seen some Smurfed on a football field. And that's a lot of Smurf. But with that being said, I mean, in the very first quarter, when you start out rolling like you do, and you get it into the red zone like they did, and you still only come out with 6 points on 2 drives, what are we doing here? And it seems like this is a fracking, firecracking, broken record, if you will. Because, my goodness, this red zone offense of the Chicago Bears sucks. There is absolutely no other way that I could potentially spin it. And nor should I spin it as a fan, watching the inept offense work inside the 20-yard line of their opponent. There's just no... I have absolutely no idea what the hell is going on inside the 20-yard line. Outside, the other 80 yards, oh, okay, looks like a somewhat functioning, high-powered offense. somewhat. But with that being said, this needs to be fixed. And I know that there are a lot of people out there that might be clamoring for that Bagent person, that Tyson Bagent. I'm not really sure if he's the answer. Actually, I don't think that he's the answer. Week to week, you see him getting... Week to week, there are things that are improved upon. And then there are things that just seems to fall through the cracks. I'll be going into a little bit more of this on the top of the hour when we get back here at approximately 8:06-ish. But, I mean, I'm just as frustrated as everyone else out there. Because I've got to come here and I've got to talk about it. And it makes my blood boil every single time. You've heard me rail against the Cubs. You heard me rail against the Chicago White Sox. Well, now I guess I got to rail against Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. You're currently listening to WRMN 1410 AM.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids right here in our own backyard are facing hunger every day? Without healthy food, it's harder to grow, to thrive, to feel their best.
The impact when children don't have enough to eat is tremendous because when you're hungry and your basic needs aren't being met, you cannot learn.
Every child deserves to be fed. This is a problem we know how to solve. Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Breakfast in the classroom contributes to kids being more focused, which leads to higher grades, and simply just their well-being.
Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 7 o'clock.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Rain X, America's #1 wiper blade. A Glen Ellen woman, Irina Bogoslavska, faces federal wire fraud charges for allegedly defrauding a retail company of over $900,000 through online return schemes between October 2023 and October 2024. Prosecutors say she used aliases, fake SKUs, multiple credit cards, and different addresses to return items, sometimes repeatedly or claiming they were lost in the mail to obtain refunds. Authorities also allege she exploited gift cards to purchase and return items for additional refunds. A search of her home uncovered hundreds of items, thousands in checks and cash, and more than 600 gift cards linked to the scheme. Target announced Thursday that it will cut about 1,800 corporate jobs to simplify operations and speed up decision-making as it works to regain customers. The incoming CEO told employees the move aims to reduce organizational complexity that has slowed progress. The Elgin City Council unanimously gave preliminary approval to allow DACA recipients to be hired as firefighters and paramedics, closing a gap that previously excluded them from these roles. The city already employs DACA recipients, including 3 police officers, and does not require U.S. citizenship for any city job, only legal work authorization. Council members and the fire department emphasized that the move would expand opportunities, boost diversity, and help address staffing shortages. Fire Chief Rob Kagan and the Firefighters Union expressed full support, noting the policy aligns with similar nationwide trends in public safety hiring. A 20-year-old man and his mother helped subdue a 19-year-old man who stabbed the son outside of a Chick-fil-A in Oswego hours after the suspect killed a delivery driver inside the restaurant. Police say Darrell Lee Jr. broke into the restaurant early Wednesday, attacking delivery driver 52-year-old Tracy Land, who died at the scene. Later, Lee stabbed the maintenance worker outside, but the victim and his mother overpowered him. Lee now faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder, attempted murder, and armed robbery, and is in custody awaiting court. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Hey, at Total Wine & More, you'll love what you find this Halloween.
Me thirsty.
Oh, hey, Frankenstein. Did you enjoy that Cabernet?
Oh, good. Want margarita?
Well, all the villagers are raving about this tequila.
Ooh.
And we have it at the lowest price in town.
Economical.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm, I am. Ooma has everything I need to handle the busy holiday season, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Rain X, America's #1 wiper blade. A Glen Ellen woman, Irina Bogoslavska, faces federal wire fraud charges for allegedly defrauding a retail company of over $900,000 through online return schemes between October 2023 and October 2024. Prosecutors say she used aliases, fake SKUs, multiple credit cards, and different addresses to return items, sometimes repeatedly or claiming they were lost in the mail to obtain refunds. Authorities also allege she exploited gift cards to purchase and return items for additional refunds. A search of her home uncovered hundreds of items, thousands in checks and cash, and more than 600 gift cards linked to the scheme. Target announced Thursday that it will cut about 1,800 corporate jobs to simplify operations and speed up decision-making as it works to regain customers. The incoming CEO told employees the move aims to reduce organizational complexity that has slowed progress. The Elgin
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Brought to you by Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blade. Tonight, clear with a low around 40. Wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 55. Temperatures falling to around 52 in the afternoon. Looking ahead to Tuesday, partly sunny with a slight chance of rain and a high near 57. Currently, it is 52 with clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark, and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey Bears fans, want your business heard during every heart-pounding moment of the game? WRMN 1410 is now offering in-game ad spots for Chicago Bears broadcasts. Be a part of the action as thousands of die-hard listeners tune in each week. Whether it's a touchdown, turnover, or a timeout, your message will be right there in the mix. Spots are limited and going fast. Call WRMN 1410 today at 847-741-7700 and score big with in-game advertising that delivers results. Get in the game with the Chicago Bears on WRMN AM 1410.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Time Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports page.
Hey, welcome back to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And we are the River Media Network Sports Station. Well, right now, we're the WRMN River Media Network Sports Station. Oh, but before I get going, I feel, or before I get going talking about the Chicago Bears a little bit more, I need to say a thank you. And there are a lot of people that I had absolutely no idea that have been listening to Big Top Sports, myself, on these very airwaves. And, you know, some people are watching on youtube.com at WRMN. So we've got Brendan. Brendan's always watching. We've got Jeff that I had the pleasure of meeting last week as well. The Soto family. And it's been quite interesting to say the least, because if you know anything about the area, there was Nightmare on Chicago Street this past Saturday. And a lot of the names and faces that I just mentioned, I was able to meet, you know, whether it be Saturday or earlier on in the week, because they were doing something with the station. And I just want to say thank you to all of them and all of you out there for listening and watching, because if you're not watching, you're not listening, I know that this station is growing. I know that WRMN is growing. I know that the morning show is watching. No, not the morning show is watching. You are watching. Jeez Louise. I've been here since the morning show this morning, so I'm getting a little punchy. You know, I will say that. But yes, you're watching the WRMN morning show with Susie C. and Elliot the L Train Serrano. And that is awesome. And I've been able to, you know, the last few days host that. And thank goodness Elliot is coming back tomorrow. Nothing against Susie C. Nothing whatsoever against Susie C. Because I adore her. I enjoy the time that I am on with the morning show. And Elliot is just, he's a gem. He's a hidden gem with, you know, his voices, his impersonations, impressions, you know, all that stuff. And the stuff that all of a sudden pops into his head, comes out of his mouth, and it 9 times out of 10, okay, I was being generous there. Maybe like, you know, 7 or 8 out of 10 times, it's funny. Oh, and I also had the pleasure of meeting Jimmy Viselli, the sponsor of the WRMN morning show as well. I mean, I had absolutely no idea, you know, he was a linebacker. Could have been a linebacker, probably was a linebacker. And he definitely looked like he had 24-inch pythons as well. So, I mean, there is that. Yeah, and it's just an absolute pleasure and a treat to be doing this in this area, on this station, and being able to meet and take pictures with everyone and get a feel for how it is I'm doing. Because I like the feedback. I do like the constructive criticism. That doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and take whatever or whenever someone is being disrespectful. But I can also take a joke, because if you didn't already know, I can be a little sarcastic. Just a wee tiny bit sarcastic. And that's the kind of smurf that I enjoy. It's the kind of stuff that, well, has landed me in hot water with people all of my life. And now I have an outlet for it. And I get to talk about the things that I love to talk about, which is sports. And I didn't even mind getting schooled this morning, although I was kind of playing it up. But, you know, when you have an 8th grader schooling me on recency bias, when I said, you know, that my favorite NBA basketball player of all time was LeBron James. Yeah, no. I mean, even though he's scored the most points, he's, you know, played the longest or potentially the longest or whatever. Does that mean he's the GOAT? No. Is he going to be a Hall of Famer? Well, absolutely. I mean, hell, he's already a Hall of Famer. Dude's a billionaire. Playing basketball, becomes a billionaire. I'd say that's pretty good, and it doesn't really matter what my opinion of him is on, you know, from this radio station. It's not like I'm Stephen A. Smith or anything. That blowhard. Well, those that live in glass houses should not throw stones. Derrick? Yeah. Point the thumbs. Point the thumbs. But, I mean, anyway, regardless, what I'm really trying to say is thank you to everyone that introduced themselves to me. I'm still trying to get used to the fact that people know who I am and are calling me out like, hey, Derrick, how you doing? I'm like, awesome. I have no idea who you are. Because, you know, you see me on the YouTube or you hear me on the radio. Excuse me. And I'm still trying to figure this thing out that is my show and being a triple Z list celebrity, if you will. Maybe I'm a quadruple Z list celebrity. I'm not even sure. Not even sure. But it sure is fun and entertaining, because there are times like tonight where I'm in the studio by myself, no phone lines, and I kind of wonder, is anybody out there? Is anybody listening? Does anybody care? And then I just got to get those squirrels and voices in my head, out of my head, to just continue to trudge through, to keep on going, and to get to the other side. But like I said, thank you from the bottom of my cold Bears-loving heart. Oh, it's so cold after yesterday's game. But from the bottom of my heart, sincerely, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I will get back to the Bears' misery on the other side of this timeout. You're listening to Big Top Sports with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, on WRMN 1410 AM. Yeah, okay, that went off like a lead balloon. I wasn't exactly expecting my bumper to come up, but let's take a 3-minute break. So y'all got 3 minutes to do whatever it is that you're going to do, and then we'll reconvene here on Big Top Sports, where this circus show continues.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
If you build a relationship, then it becomes easier. If you build trust, becomes easier. As a parent, you want what's best for your child. To give them the love that a child needs, it's probably the best thing to do for a teenager.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Youth football season is almost here. Elgin Steelers Youth Football and Cheer is now part of the prestigious Pop Warner League in Chicagoland. We're serving youth athletes of all ages, building character and fostering teamwork. Registration is now open, so don't miss out on the chance to be a part of a winning tradition. Multi-athletic registration discounts are available, and we're looking for dedicated volunteers to join our coaching staff. Shape the future of our youth. Plus, on April 14th, the Elgin Steelers Youth Football and Cheer start spring conditioning. Get all the details and register at elginsteelers.com. That's elginsteelers.com. Go Steelers! When disaster strikes, flood or fire, every second counts. At Emergency Construction Group, they specialize in immediate response and same-day service for any residential, commercial, or industrial emergency across the Chicagoland area. With over 30 years of experience, they've got the expertise, manpower, and equipment to handle any size loss fast. They follow strict IICRC guidelines to restore your property the right way, the first time. Their team values transparency, constant communication, and strong ethical standards because your peace of mind matters. Licensed, bonded, and insured, they're here for you 24/7, 365 days a year. Call 855-4ECG now. That's 855-432-4669. Or visit their website at emergencyconstructiongroup.com. And let Emergency Construction Group put your life back together one step at a time. That's Emergency Construction Group. Your satisfaction is their passion.
A recent Gallup poll indicated that 38% of Americans are putting off health care because of financial concerns, the highest ever recorded. I'm Dr. Bob Martin, here to serve you every Sunday afternoon from 1 to 4. Millions of Americans are seeking health advice that will not cost an arm and a leg, so I offer health tips and advice absolutely free. Listen to my show, Sunday afternoons from 1 to 4 right here on WRMN, AM 1410 and 96.7 FM, the voice of the Valley.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
And welcome back to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. Did I throw you for a curveball? Yeah, kind of, sort of. I understand that is all right because, well, I'm not exactly sure why it fired my opening music for it. But with that being said, yes, Brendan, I do believe my favorite show is the WRMN morning show as well. But, you know, we thank you for listening, and we thank you for tuning in regardless. So getting back to the Chicago Bears game here on Big Top Sports, WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. So the Ravens had a total of 355 yards. The Bears had a total of 372. And considering that the time of possession was almost 50-50, and the way that it was so lopsided in the first quarter, I would have thought for sure that, yeah, it wouldn't have been that big or that close of a discrepancy. But the way that the Baltimore Ravens came out in the second half of the game and just absolutely dominated the Bears. Well, in my opinion, they had dominated them because there wasn't really a whole hell of a lot that was going on in a decent direction for Caleb Williams, for Ben Johnson. But on the same token, or at the same time, when you are able to hold one of your opponent's best weapons, and that being Derrick Henry, to under 100 yards rushing, I think you would have taken that as a good thing. But then who else was there? I mean, you surely didn't expect Tyler Huntley to come in and beat you. No. And as I also learned, you also didn't expect, well, maybe you did kind of expect it, Derrick Henry to come in and run for 2 touchdowns tying him with Sweetness for all-time touchdowns for a running back with 111, and then getting another one, giving him 112 on his career. So there was that also. And you're not looking for that kind of result. And my goodness, what about the turnover battles? What about the turnovers that the Bears had gotten the previous 4 weeks in a row, totaling 15 total turnovers? How many did they get yesterday? 0. A big, fat goose egg. Yeah. How many turnovers did the Baltimore Ravens get yesterday? Uno. Yeah, that was a horrible, horrible pass that Caleb Williams threw, and I have absolutely no idea what he was doing. But Nate Wiggins of Baltimore, he got it and gave Baltimore the ball, gave the Ravens the ball on the 9-yard line after he ran it back. And then promptly, Huntley throws for a 10-yard touchdown pass. And all of a sudden, this no look too good. And my goodness, it did not look good whatsoever. I surely hope that it is not like last year, where the Bears get out to a decent start and all of a sudden get clubbed in the head 10 times in a row for a 10-game losing streak. But I do not. Let me rephrase that. I hope, and this is where I become a hope trafficker, a hope peddler, because while my brain is saying that the Bears should be okay, considering the fact that they are going to be playing against Cincinnati next week, and the Giants after that, and then the Vikings after that, and the Steelers after that. Again, I do think that they could have another 4-game win streak. The wild card being Joe Flacco and the Cincinnati Bengals. Then you got a couple of games against the Giants, the Vikings. If they don't kick the holy smurf out of the Vikings this next time, season's donezo. It's as simple as that for me. That is my litmus test. If they don't go into Minnesota and kick the Smurf out of the Vikings, then the season is over and done with. And then, not to mention what happened last night against when you had the Packers and the Steelers going up against it. Because Aaron Rodgers got his butt whooped. And it was, well, kind of 6 in one and half a dozen of the other, if you will. I don't know if Green Bay is the best team in football. But with that being said, Like I said, it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, because you have the Green Bay Packers. I wish I could say Green Bay sucks, but they don't. Going up against Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, whose defense is just mid at this point. And what in the world kind of jerseys were the Pittsburgh Steelers wearing yesterday? Like, oh, hey, Aaron Rodgers is facing off his former team, so let's put a blanket of cheese all over him. Yeah, whatever. I'm not here for fashion statements. I mean, look at me. I'm wearing a backwards baseball cap. I've got my Under Armour hoodie on because it's freaking cold. Yeah, it's freaking cold. And I even got the space heater in here, but I'm still cold. My hands are still freezing. But I digress. So the Green Bay Packers going to Pittsburgh. They beat Aaron Rodgers. Cool. I kind of wish Aaron Rodgers would have beaten the Green Bay Packers for obvious reasons, being that the Packers are in the NFC North, along with the Bears. But you can't win them all. And it kind of scares me when Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers are going to be facing off against one another in a few short weeks. But I guess another owner of the Chicago Bears will be coming to town. But even with that being said, I think the Bears will stand up pretty good against them. However, there are some concerning injuries that the Chicago Bears have. Why did that not fire? Huh. Okay. Well, looks like I'll have to fire that. But no, bottom of the hour. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, yeah, I'm trying to do like a little bit of production here as nothing is highlighted, and yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm supposed to be going to break right now in 4 seconds. You're listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Rain X, America's #1 wiper blade. The Elgin City Council unanimously gave preliminary approval to allow DACA recipients to be hired as firefighters and paramedics, closing a gap that previously excluded them from these roles. The city already employs DACA recipients, including 3 police officers, and does not require U.S. citizenship for any city job, only legal work authorization. Council members and the fire department emphasized that the move would expand opportunities, boost diversity, and help address staffing shortages. Fire Chief Rob Kagan and the Firefighters Union expressed full support, noting the policy aligns with similar nationwide trends in public safety hiring. A 20-year-old man and his mother helped subdue a 19-year-old man who stabbed the son outside of a Chick-fil-A in Oswego hours after the suspect killed a delivery driver inside the restaurant. Police say Darrell Lee Jr. broke into the restaurant early Wednesday, attacking delivery driver 52-year-old Tracy Land, who died at the scene. Later, Lee stabbed the maintenance worker outside, but the victim and his mother overpowered him. Lee now faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder, attempted murder, and armed robbery, and is in custody awaiting court. A Glen Ellen woman, Irina Bogoslavska, faces federal wire fraud charges for allegedly defrauding a retail company of over $900,000 through online return schemes between October 2023 and October 2024. Prosecutors say she used aliases, fake SKUs, multiple credit cards, and different addresses to return items, sometimes repeatedly or claiming they were lost in the mail, to obtain refunds. Authorities also allege she exploited gift cards to purchase and return items for additional refunds. A search of her home uncovered hundreds of items, thousands in checks and cash, and more than 600 gift cards linked to the scheme. Target announced Thursday that it will cut about 1,800 corporate jobs to simplify operations and speed up decision-making as it works to regain customers. The incoming CEO told employees the move aims to reduce organizational complexity that has slowed progress. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Are you dreaming of a getaway? Want to leave the stress of daily life behind? Whether it's a relaxing cruise or an adventurous land escape, planning the perfect vacation doesn't have to be a hassle. At Cruises International, they specialize in vacation destinations, land and sea, making your dreams come true. Located at 1721 Moon Lake Boulevard in Hoffman Estates, Cruises International isn't just about booking travel. They're your personal concierge, trusted travel advisor, and advocate. Your preferences are unique, and they'll take the time to understand exactly what you're looking for. From personalized service to their global network of specialists, they ensure that your vacation is tailor-made just for you. It's time to plan the vacation of a lifetime. Call 800-255-7447. That's 800-255-7447 today and speak to a cruise and vacation expert. Cruises International. It's time to set sail to your dream destination.
This is Will Walker with your Fox Valley forecast. Brought to you by RainX. Tonight, clear with a low around 40. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 55. Temperatures falling to around 52 in the afternoon. Looking ahead to Tuesday, a slight chance of rain in the afternoon with a high near 57. Currently, it is 50 with clear skies. With your Fox Valley forecast, I'm Will Walker on WRMN, the talk of the town.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and board babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland. Football frenzy and hoops so high. Baseball swinging as seasons fly. Hockey blades cutting swift and true. Sports carousel spinning just for you. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
Alrighty, Roo. Welcome back into Big Top Sports with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, on WRMN 1410 AM. That's Big Top Sports. Not to be mistaken with Susie C. and Derrick G. of the WRMN Morning Show, which will have Elliot the L Train Serrano back, and hopefully not in frozen fashion, on the WRMN Morning Show. But as I mentioned, here, let me take care of this a little bit. We have in the Game 3 of the World Series action. It is currently the top of the second inning, and it is 0-0. Both teams have one hit apiece, Toronto Blue Jays and the Los Angeles Dodgers. And as far as the Chicago Bulls are going on right now, Chicago Bulls are taking on the Atlanta Hawks at home, and they are currently trailing by 8 points, deficit of 35-27 at the end of the first quarter. And what else do we got? We got Chicago Blackhawks are going to be taking on, where are we? Chicago Blackhawks will be taking on, oh, come on. This is why I try to do like production stuff on the fly here. It always works out so well. Chicago Blackhawks are taking on the Ottawa Senators tomorrow at 7:45 at the United Center. Another awesome start time for the Chicago Blackhawks. They must be on ESPN. You know, it must be a triple header or some smurf, because I really love these late start times. 7:45 tomorrow. And then after tomorrow's game, they will be going on a 6-game road trip to the likes of Winnipeg, Edmonton, Seattle, Canucks, Flames, and then the Red Wings. Who in the hell did this schedule? Okay, I could see going up to Winnipeg because, okay, that's like right above Minnesota. But then you're flying out to Edmonton, down to Seattle, back up to Vancouver, then over to Calgary, and then coming into Detroit. This is like one of the wackiest freaking things that I've ever witnessed as far as schedules go. Because, okay, you go up, you're in Canada for the 2 games. Then you come down into to Seattle, right? So you got to go through customs. You got to get in there. Then you go back up to Calgary. I'm sorry, Vancouver. Then over to Calgary. To Detroit. Was someone, having like a couple of libations or something when they were making up this schedule? I don't know. Why don't you just do like Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton, Canucks, and finish in Seattle, and then fly to the East Coast in Detroit. This will be an interesting telltale early barometer of what the Chicago Blackhawks are, who are currently 5th in the Western Conference right now, with a total of 10 points after yesterday's loss to the Los Angeles Kings. But let me see here. Yeah, I'm taking a break from the Bears if you've been wondering or whatever. And yeah, on the YouTube at WRMN radio feed, yeah, someone is saying that, yes, what does all Chicago sports teams share? They all lose. Wah, wah, wah. Sports sucks in Chicagoland. That's a half glass full kind of attitude that I like to have here on Big Top Sports. Oh, but if you want to chime in, please feel free to call 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. Or, as I am checking the text line there, no No messages there on the text line, which is 505-926-1410. But even so, even with that being said, I do believe that it's been an interesting season thus far for the Chicago Blackhawks. It has been good. Been good thus far. And with Connor Bedard notching the only goal for the Chicago Blackhawks yesterday, I suppose it's better than nothing. Well, what would have been better is if the Blackhawks would have actually won yesterday's game, but it seems as though they were a little outplayed, a little outmanned. I mean, Alex Laferriere, he's getting 6 shots on goal, and he is one of the go-to guys for the Kings. He also notched a goal he also notched a goal. But so there's that. But anyway. Oh, I'm trying to put this off as long as I could possibly put this off before I actually run out of show. And, well, you know that injury list that the Chicago Bears started with yesterday that had tight end Cole Kmet out of action, that had Roshan Johnson out of action, that had Tyreek Stevenson out of action, that had Dominique Robinson out of action, Luther Burden III. Yeah. So a lot of the injury bug seems to have bitten the Chicago Bears. And with your starting tight end, with your, I want to say, backup running back with his back injury. So Cole Kmet, he's got a back injury. Roshan Johnson, he's got a back injury. Tyreek Stevenson, he was out with a shoulder injury. And then, come to find out that today, Shamar Turner, rookie defensive tackle, he suffers a season-ending torn ACL in yesterday's game against the Ravens. Oh, my goodness. Kyler Gordon, he was ruled out at the very beginning of, either Thursday or Friday, which I didn't actually get an update on before yesterday's game. So he was placed on injured reserve. One of the bright spots on the defense for the Chicago Bears, Kyler Gordon out. He's got a groin and a calf injury. Then you have Braxton Jones. He was placed on injured reserve with a knee injury. We already know about Jalen Johnson. Austin Booker, defensive lineman, injured reserve. Terrell Smith, cornerback, injured reserve. Deion Hankins, running back. Well, we already know that he was already out, but yeah. So it is a lot of walking wounded right now. And then rookie wide receiver Luther Burden III. He's out. And he's in concussion protocol. So, yeah, a lot of walking wounded for the Chicago Bears right now. And it just kind of makes yesterday's game come around into a little bit of perspective. A little bit, just a little bit. But then there was also the false flag that I'll talk about tomorrow in regards to a 2-time MVP for the Baltimore Ravens and how he was practicing but not practicing. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I haven't the faintest, foggiest idea what is going on, but Dominique, defensive end Dominique Robinson will miss a few weeks with a high ankle sprain. I already said that. Luther Burden III is in concussion protocol, and Shamar Turner tore his ACL, which ends his season. Yeah. The Smurfy seems to get a little bit Smurfier, if you will. I'll wrap this episode of Big Top Sports up on the other side of this break. You are currently listening to Derrick Geyer, Big Top Sports, WRMN 1410 AM. Back in a couple minutes.
Does your car need a shine? At Britain's Touchless Car Wash, they make it quick, easy, and spotless every time. And they're open 24/7 for your convenience. Right now, get a free car wash just for joining their text club. Text BRITT to 30400 and enjoy a free car wash. Visit Britain's Touchless Car Wash at 1923 Larkin Avenue in Elgin or at 555 Willow in West Dundee. Britain's, caring for your car while caring for our community.
Hey Bears fans, want your business heard during every heart-pounding moment of the game? WRMN 1410 is now offering in-game ad spots for Chicago Bears broadcasts. Be a part of the action as thousands of die-hard listeners tune in each week. Whether it's a touchdown, turnover, or a timeout, your message will be right there in the mix. Spots are limited and going fast. Call WRMN 1410 today at 847-741-7700 and score big with in-game advertising that delivers results. Get in the game with the Chicago Bears on WRMN AM 1410.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service. Better care. 800-785-1673. 800-785-1673. 800-785-1673. That's 800-785-1673.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Building a house is hard, but have you tried removing one? Flood Brothers takes the mess out of demolition. With fast roll-off dumpster delivery, reliable debris pickup, and a family-owned team that takes service personally. Call 630-261-0400 or visit floodbrothersdisposal.com. Flood Brothers Disposal, proud sponsor of America's First Responders Fest.
And welcome back to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. Got a little complacent there because I needed to fire it off. But moving on to Major League Baseball and the Silver Sluggers Award. It was announced a few days or so ago. I kind of missed it. Came out on October 22nd, so almost a week or so ago. But I might as well talk about it now. So for the National League, you've got first baseman Pete Alonso of the New York Mets, Freddie Freeman, Los Angeles Dodgers, Matt Olson of the Atlanta Braves. I would think Pete Alonso wins this one, but you know what do I know? Going on to second base for the National League, you've got Nico Hoerner of the Chicago Cubs, Ketel Marte of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and Bryce Terang of the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, I know this is the Silver Slugger Award, and it's not exactly the team high batting average or the player with the highest batting average, but Nico Horner was batting .297 at the end of the season and probably one of the best contact all-around, not exactly all-around hitters, but, he is a slasher, and he did pretty good. Ketel Marte, well, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out with this one award. I would definitely, of course, like Nico Horner to win it. It would look nice going right next to his second Gold Glove that he should be winning. But I digress. I'm a little bit of a homer on this aspect of things. Then we got third base, Matt Chapman of the San Francisco Giants, Manny Machado of the San Diego Padres, Max Muncy of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and Austin Riley of the Atlanta Braves. You got 4 players there. Interesting. Then moving on to shortstop. You've got Francisco Lindor of the New York Mets, Geraldo Perdomo of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and Trey Turner of the Philadelphia Phillies. And you should note that Trey Turner did win the batting average title for the season, so there might be some sort of one up over there, but he did miss a majority of the rest of the season. I think he was out in September, so not really sure what's going to happen there. And in the outfield, you've got Corbin Carroll of the D-backs. You've got PCA of the Chicago Cubs. Shouldn't win it. You've got Kyle Tucker of the Chicago Cubs. Shouldn't win it. Juan Soto of the New York Mets. Kyle Stowers of the Miami Marlins. And James Wood of the Washington Nationals. Yeah, it's definitely going to be between Soto and Wood. I really highly don't think that PCA or Kyle Tucker should win this award whatsoever. They both suck down the stretch, and it's really hard for me to get on board with them winning the Silver Slugger. I understand that they both hit bombs and all that fun stuff, but yeah. Moving on to catcher. You've got William Contreras of the Milwaukee Brewers, Hunter Goodman of the Colorado Rockies, and Will Smith of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Here, I think William Contreras should win for the Milwaukee Brewers. And then you have, for the DH, you've got Shohei Ohtani, Dodgers, Kyle Schwarber, Phillies, Christian Yelich, Brewers. I have no idea how Ohtani doesn't win this, but if there was someone that should possibly topple him in this, it should be Bam Bam. And that Bam Bam being Kyle Schwarber. Christian Yelich, enjoy your time on the beach with your L flag. And then for utility, it doesn't matter. You got for Team Silver Slugger, Arizona Diamondbacks, Chicago Cubs, and Los Angeles Dodgers. Yeah, Cubs ain't going to win it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Dodgers. Moving on to the American League. First base, Vladdy Jr., Toronto Blue Jays. Nick Kurtz, Athletics. Vinny Pasquantino of the Kansas City Royals. I'd be surprised if Vladimir Guerrero Jr. did not win this, but I would also think that Vinny Pasquantino would be a good candidate as well. Second base, you got Chaz Chisholm Jr. of the Yankees, Brandon Lowe of the Tampa Bay Rays, Jorge Polanco of the Seattle Mariners. Out of this, well, it's either going to be between Chisholm and Polanco of the Mariners, although I would like to see Polanco win. Just my personal preference. Third base, Alex Bregman, Boston Red Sox, Junior Caminero of the Tampa Bay Rays, and then Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians. Well, that's either between Bregman or Ramirez, personally. For shortstop shortstop, Bo Bichette, Toronto Blue Jays, Jeremy Pena of the Houston Astros, Bobby Witt Jr. of KC. I really have a hard time going against Bobby Witt Jr. in that one. For the outfield, you've got Cody Bellinger of the Yanks, Byron Buxton of the Twins, Riley Green, Tigers, Aaron Judge, Yankees, Julio Rodriguez, Seattle Mariners, George Springer, Toronto Blue Jays. There ain't no way in hell that Aaron Judge is not going to win this. I really have a hard time believing that. And then as far as catcher goes, if the big dumper is not winning a silver slugger here in Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners, then this thing is rigged. But you have Shea Langoliers of the Athletic, Salvador Perez of KC, and like I said, Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners. For DH, you got Yandy Diaz, Tampa, Brent Rooker of the Athletics, and George Springer of Toronto. I'd be shocked as hell if George Springer does not win it, considering the fact that he is currently in the World Series. And usually, I know these awards are kind of like happenstance and already, I think, decided on before the playoffs are started. But yeah, they want to make a spectacle out of it. And then as far as the team awards go, ooh, that came in hot. And as far as the team silver sluggers go for the American League, it's the Yankees, Mariners, and Blue Jays. 3 playoff teams. Go figure. Well, that is just about the end of my time here on Big Top Sports for this Monday. I have been your host, Derrick Geyer, after a very long day. But don't forget, tune in to the WRMN Morning Show with Susie C. and Elliot, the L Train Serrano. Yes, the L Train, Elliot Serrano, is back in action tomorrow. He will be right here in the pilot seat from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Don't forget to tune in. He's got some stories. This is WRMN 1410 AM, Big Top Sports. Yours truly, Derrick Geyer.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough